As we arrive on the Amtrak Thruway bus, we're arriving a little bit early, and we're going to be arriving in Bakersfield, the southern terminus of the Amtrak San Joaquin, and apparently the new southern terminus of the California high-speed rail. We'll be seeing more of that. As we approach the Amtrak station, it's the former Santa Fe station, and on the bus you'll probably notice that on the underpass, which still has the vestige of that same insignia. Here at Amtrak's Bakersfield station, and the recent truncation of the California high-speed train, now only between Bakersfield and Merced, well, they probably will bring it in at normal speed, as most high-speed trains do on normal tracks. And here's our San Joaquin. It goes all the way to Oakland, but we will be changing in Emeryville to take a throughway bus. There is a stop in Richmond where you can take the BART. Turns out the price differential and the timings are almost identical, with a significant difference that the BART has about 16 stops to the city versus 2 with the bus across the Bay Bridge. Be an easement of right-of-way to the west side of the tracks here at Wasco, where the station has already been boarded up. We'll see. Here we're looking west, where a likely route of the high-speed train will go. We are finally in an orchard. We've just passed through at least 50 miles of fallow, unused land, contrary to some of the complaints. Just filling in. Here's an example of what I mean by fallow, unused land. You know, when the first presentation was made for the high-speed train, I helped participate in some of the setup, and I knew something was awry when in their PowerPoint presentation that was way too cumbersome kept referring to the wrong railroad. They kept saying Burlington Northern when it had been BNSF for years and is being used as a train spur on occasion. Here's a map of today's journey. It's the Orange Line. There's also a branch that goes to Sacramento. That used to be the route of the old Sacramento Daylight. Arrive in Corcoran, which is an hour out of Bakersfield. I'd say maybe only 20% of the land on the west side of the tracks was used for anything that justifies any complaint. The rest of it being fallow or just access, ditches, a lot of empty buildings. Here's some industrial sidings on the west side. It's Corcoran going on to Hanford and to Fresno with maybe a couple of industrial sidings. It has been otherwise always an access road. We're coming into Hanford, and continuously this access road's been available. And now here's the station. We've been passing vineyards, orchards. What's interesting, there's absolutely no evidence of any eminent domain, at least until we get to Fresno, where we will see some work. Here is first evidence of the high-speed California train, the roadbed. We're coming into Fresno. And the right-of-way continues, but the roadbed is no longer ready. And just as quickly as it started, it just abruptly disappears. Maybe it's a test section. It must have been only like 4 blocks long. Now we're back. What's interesting is the way the grading work comes and goes as though they haven't even got the right-of-way. And the grading work comes back again. We just passed a bridge abutment standing all by itself, going from nowhere to nowhere. Can't tell if that's highway or the railroad, but there is some construction for a bridge. And we're coming into the Fresno station. As we come into Madera, substantial grading and dedicated roadway starts to become evident. In fact, we just passed a partially completed road overcrossing. Here at Madera, and we've now passed 3 different abutments for bridges standing all by themselves along the route of this truncated high-speed Caltrain. This is Merced, the new truncated stop for the high-speed train. At least that's the current decision. The distance between Bakersfield and Merced is only 169 miles. Most high-speed trains do over that in an hour. Really makes you wonder.